Mark, what struck me about this is the first time that they've tied performance, compensation, I should say, to performance. Why now?
I think in part because Sundar is the man in charge. Larry and Sergey have stepped down away from the company. I imagine this is part of the turn where the board is like turning into sort of a more managerial, sort of a conventional company in some ways, right? Google has always said that they were not a conventional company, and part of that was the way they structured their executive compensation. A lot of it was about retention. Clearly, they're trying to they built in incentives to keep Sundar around. But now the board, it seems, feels that this is tying it to performance, something that's necessary. And I imagine Sundar agreed to that, clearly.
What are some of those performance metrics?
So my sense is that right now it's tied to the performance of the stock of the company, which, as a reminder, Google, as part of Alphabet, is still 99% of the sales. I don't see that happening in the next 3 years really dramatically changing. You have Waymo, the self-driving cars, Verily. There is some sort of, the market is speculated about if they spin those business units out entirely, whether that would affect the stock. But the stock is primarily looking at a couple things. One is just the growth of the core advertising business, and then any progress they're making in new areas like cloud and YouTube and hardware.
Do you get a sense that 3 years is long enough to avoid some of that short-term risk-taking to boost the stock, but also try to manage for the long term?
I think so. I mean, 3 years, that's certainly where we've seen some early reports that's where Google's hoping to get in somewhere like close to second or even first, but certainly show much more progress in the cloud business. So the cloud business has been a top priority for the company. At least they've talked about it a lot on earnings calls. They're still in third place behind Microsoft and Amazon. Next year, there's some expectations that maybe they're actually going to start breaking that out and showing it to Wall Street. Not necessarily true. Google has been historically pretty slow about and not very transparent on that. But that would certainly be some evidence for investors that, hey, the cloud business is making this much progress and they're continuing to invest in that. I think that 3 year time frame is fairly realistic for Sundar to deliver something like that.